Academy-winning director Danny Boyle once said that to be a filmmaker, you have to lead, but you also have to be a little bit psychotic in your desire to do something. You have to push very hard to get something unusual and something different. Welcome to India International Film Festival Boston 2020. Moving this festival online this year presented a lot of challenges, but it also brought a lot of beautiful opportunities to engage with artists all over the world. Today, we have a panel of critically acclaimed and award winning artists and filmmakers amongst us, where we'll be discussing the future of Indian film industry, COVID, and beyond. IIFFB is founded and headed by very talented Razia Mashkoor. My name is Sunana Kachru Bhide. I am a poet, lyricist, a film writer, and also the curator for the festival. My co-moderator is social entrepreneur Priya Samant, who's also an impact advisor for films like Jhalki, Gul Makai, and documentary My Home India, which was listed and reviewed for Oscars in 2020. On the panel today, we have people who actually do not need introduction, but we have Swanand Kirkire, lyricist, playback singer, writer, assistant director, and actor. Dr. Salil Kulkarni, composer, singer, author, and a filmmaker. Acclaimed director, screenwriter, author Tanuja Chandra. Film director, writer, producer Danish Renzu. Director, producer, and filmmaker Mikhail Musare. I welcome you all again. So my first question, being a writer and a lyricist, is for Swanand. So Swanand, director Martin Scorsese once said that when I am making a film, I'm also an audience for that film. So we are living in an age where our mediums have changed. There are films for theaters, then there are OTT platforms, there are web series, there's content on YouTube and other streaming options. So how has this transition helped the storytelling?
I sincerely wish that what Martin Scorsese said as is a great line, but it doesn't become true, and we only remain our own audiences. Especially in these COVID times, हम ही अपनी पिक्चर देख रहे हैं पता लगा. तो ये नहीं होना चाहिए. But film, I didn't get your question. Can you just give me a little bit? सॉरी आई जस्ट एक जोक मारने के चक्कर में क्वेश्चन भूल गया.
So, what I wanted to say was that I think Martin Scorsese held your attention. So, what I wanted to ask was that as a writer, as a lyricist, as an actor, is your approach different? As the mediums have changed, we have so many different mediums. So, has that art of storytelling changed because of these different mediums?
No, it never changes. The art of storytelling is something. The form only changes. Nothing else changes. You have to tell a story, whether it's a film, which is going to be seen in a theater, or a television show, or a OTT platform show, or anything, or a TikTok video, which is of a certain length. Though I was never on a TikTok video, but still, wherever. But you need to tell a story, and that story has to be engaging, and it has to hit a chord with people. So I don't think the basics of storytelling change. The desire to tell a story never changes, and the desire to listen to a good story never changes. Everybody wants a good story, in this form or that form. So definitely forms change, not the way you tell the story, or the art of telling the story.
So your approach would probably be the same, and
absolutely the same. Yeah.
Thank you so much. My second question is to Tanuja. Tanuja, when we think of you as a director, let's say from Dushman to a recent one, which was Kareeb Kareeb Single, or your book Business Women, we always think of a director that excels in women-led narratives. Was this a conscious decision, or did destiny plot this path for you?
Sorry, I'm just adjusting my phone. It was very much a conscious decision. It is my abiding passion to tell stories about women-led stories, stories that deal with issues that women have, that women have battled with and struggled with for centuries. So it's not a subject that one can ever exhaust, and it has only increasingly, if I have to say it in Hindi, matlab it's become a bimari now. For me, it's an affliction. I must tell women's stories. So uh, I think that for me, and for many storytellers, it's very exciting to navigate the world of web series, the longer format, which is not the same as broadcast television. It's longer, but it's not as long as that. But it is at least 3 movies in sort of told in one narrative. So it has layers, and people are watching stuff on the phone. So I'll disagree a little bit with Swanand that the fact that, I remember somebody took a picture on a local Mumbai train, of a guy watching Kareeb Kareeb Single on his phone in the train. Okay, so for me as a director, that was one of the most exciting things I ever saw. But I also do know that his attention is distracted by many things on the train. He has to get off at a station. He is not in a dark room, which is what a theater is. So there are things that one as a filmmaker is it has to keep in mind, which is not to say make a loud film, or but yes, maybe the engagement, maybe the shot taking has to be of a slightly different kind. And I would say keep updating. It's important to speak about the world that we live in today. Often Hindi movies don't. Often Hindi movies have a world one has never experienced. So for me personally, it's very important to do that.
So are you saying that since you said that you have a different view on this, that let's say somebody is viewing on a phone versus somebody is viewing in a theater, are there nuances as a director, as you said, from the perspective of how you frame a shot? Do you keep that in mind now that there's a possibility that somebody in a local train may be viewing?
Yeah, so your really beautiful cinematic wide shots, the kind that Danish must be doing beautifully in Kashmir right now, they're liable to be lost a bit. There will be a resolution issue. They will be a little bit more blurred. Those beautiful sort of gradations may not be visible to people. But while having said that, I would still say that storytelling in its basics is about emotions, is about plot, drama. What do I want and what's coming in my way? So that's as old as the hills.
Thank you so much.
Sunana, you're muted.
Okay. My next question is for Salil Kulkarni. Salil, your poetry show, that's how I was first introduced to your work. Your poetry show, Ayusha Var Bolu Kahi, is a rage in Maharashtra. I've seen many people standing for hours to get tickets for it. Usually we are told that when you're very successful in doing something, it's better to continue doing that. So I would like to know what prompted you to take this risk and venture into filmmaking.
Now, when I look at it retrospectively, I think this is what I wanted to do, and I was just putting one and after the another part of a jigsaw puzzle and completed the zebra after 20 years. Like I was doing music, I was doing TV shows, I was writing books, I was listening to good poetry, I was writing poetry as well as prose, and I was doing music videos. So effectively, what all you need to make a movie is, you need to write something, you need to visualize something. So again, coming back to Swanand's point, it is all about storytelling in some form or the other. And I think composing a song, narrating something in the form of music is also storytelling. Effectively, everyone, for me, every performing artist or a writer is a storyteller in some form or the other. And I'm very happy to hear Swanand today, because I recently completed a film which is based on a storyteller. So he exactly stated all the points which I have written in his last narration as a storyteller, that whoever you are, wherever you are telling a story. And at any age, you appreciate stories and stories and stories. So I think I don't agree with putting a certain label on your forehead or your door a certain nameplate because I'm educated in medicine. Like I started doing my MD and then decided that I've been in music since my childhood, so I want to do music. Then I started doing music. Then television, I did lots of like 10 or 11 seasons of Saregamapa as judge. So, you know, everything came as a surprise and I never closed any door. So effectively, when I thought that now I can visualize things, I can visualize frames, and I have done music of more than 50 films of different directors. I know how they write screenplays, how they look at a film. Then I think basically being a medical student, I believe in getting ready first and then appear for the exam. So maybe I was getting ready for so many years, and effectively I thought that now I'm okay
Ready to jump.
doing films. Right.
Thank you so much, Salil. Thank you.
Thank you.
My next question is for Mikhil, Mikhil Musare. Mikhil, you have navigated in different roles from creative to commercial. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
So you have navigated in different roles from creative to commercial. You were also part of India's entry to Oscars as a jury member. So my question to you is, what advice can you give to the new filmmakers for their movies to be considered by the jury?
First of all, hello to everyone. 9:30 on Saturday night, we've all agreed. So I think so we got to be very serious about filmmaking as such. I feel the title itself, what we're discussing today about Indian cinema, it's a heavy title. I always say this, and COVID-19 has also made me realize we have been a history of 100 years of cinema, and we are a country who makes almost 800 to 1,000 films a year. So first of all, as storytellers or makers or artists, we got to stop thinking very important about ourselves, and we got to release ourselves. We take ourselves very seriously as makers. We feel and probably after making few films, we feel obliged toward our audience, and of course, you gotta make films which your audience expects you to. But in general, I've seen as artists, we take ourselves very seriously. We have been making great films, and there will be great films even after we are gone. And so the advice to young maker is just make your first film anyhow. And I believe all the makers would agree here that I started through a regional film. I come from engineering background, and again, that's cliche now. But come what may, love, hate, war, just make your first film, and things will fall in place. So yeah.
Thank you, Mikhil. Thank you so much. My next question is to Danish. Danish, I come from a place where I have collaborated with you for so long, but I'm also a big fan of your work. So my question is that you're known for making films with social impact. However, your storytelling palette is very international. As a filmmaker, do you feel there are challenges? What challenges do you face in bringing the subtle and nuanced storytelling to Indian audience on OTT platforms and theaters?
A lot. I know it's see, so far I've only done independent films and it's been very difficult. Sorry, I'm just gonna close my WhatsApp. It's I'm just still trying to find a way to tell stories that are sort of more mainstream or I've most of my films I've done both halfway to and illegal. They've mostly been in the festivals and we did small releases. It was very difficult to bring these films out. And of course I wanted to make films independently. From the very beginning of screenplay to pre-production to production to post, everything by myself. So I think in that way, I was very happy as a filmmaker because I was able to do what I wanted to do as a filmmaker and tell the story I believed in. But I think it's very important to also understand who your audience is and sort of have that also planned way in advance once you're beginning the film. So that's something I'm learning as a filmmaker, like how to sort of find a balance and also make sure that film doesn't it's already sort of taken care of as far as distribution before it goes out. But yeah, I'm still learning and I still want to stick to my kind of filmmaking and touch upon social justice issues and important stories, especially from Kashmir, or even the illegal, which was about immigrants in US. So in that capacity, I'm very satisfied as a filmmaker. But from the business perspective, I think it's very important to have that person also sort of who, makes sure that your film is being seen and then, goes out. So that's sort of I'm learning right now as a filmmaker. And that's something I want to make sure I sort of improve on in the future. Yeah. So
Thank you so much, Danish. Thank you all of you for this round. I will hand over now to Priya. She's going to take it further for the next level. Thank you, Priya.
Thank you so much, Sunaina. So it's so wonderful to see two collaborators, Sunaina and Danish, in one frame, who have given the audience really great content. So you're not just bonded by your work, but also by your roots, right? Kashmir. And our roots and our personal journey is very important in role of a professional journey, right? And for all of you, which is filmmaking. So I'm going to start with Danish. My question to you is, as a young filmmaker, why did you not choose rather an easy subject for your films, which is a formula for money making? It's a very straight thing. Why did you choose a subject of half widow as your first film?
So I think I'm Kashmiri, of course. That right away is the answer to this question. I wanted to. So I'm based in Los Angeles, and I've been also an electrical engineer before I'm a filmmaker. And while I was working in US and as an engineer, I always wanted to be a filmmaker. So I got into screenwriting and stuff. And then finally, there was some time back in 2015 when I was able to come back to Kashmir after like a decade, and I was able to connect back to sort of my roots in Kashmir, and I want to do something in Kashmir. And I don't know, miraculously, I went to these half widow rallies where I came to know about half widows and this issue that existed in Kashmir. I was totally not aware of those at all. And for me, what really hit me was the story of women who are actually now orphaned and don't have any, sort of in a state of limbo. And that is when I realized that, there's a story that needs to be told here. And it has to be Kashmir. If I'm making my film, my debut film has to be from Kashmir because I'm Kashmiri myself. So I think it was sort of an opportunity for me to give back to the people of Kashmir. So we started a line production here. We also hired everyone Kashmir based in the film. Even the entire cast was Kashmiri, as you know, in Half Widow. And also with Sunaina, who's also a poet, and she is such a great dialogue writer, and she knows so much about Kashmir's history, culture, heritage. We actually not only were able to make an impactful film, but we also at the same time had an opportunity to show Kashmiri culture, music, traditions, all that to the audience. So I think being Kashmiri, it just sporadically and organically sort of happened. I think it was just meant to happen. That had to be my first film. I think it's coming from sort of a personal perspective, also being Kashmiri and being born and raised there, and doing something for the cinema in the Valley. Yeah.
Well, that's phenomenal. And, I want to say on a lighter note is that I'm hearing many engineers and doctors, on this panel who have now gone into filmmaking. So I am an engineer by training, so I have some hope, if for the future. So my next question is again to a very young filmmaker, Mikhil. Lot of filmmakers, are urban thinkers. So language and grammar of their narrative is also very urban. Why did you choose a Gujarati medium as your debut film, which also won a national award?
Yeah, as I said that I come from Gujarat. I'm a Maharashtrian, and again, I wanted to make films. I came to Bombay, and I felt that it's gonna take a lot of time to make my first mark in Bombay. So then I again went back to Gujarat, and Gujarati films were not being made. That was in year 2011, 2012. Not like how we see Tamil and Marathi cinema. So as you call, from a marketing perspective, a blue ocean strategy, we felt that since there are no films being made, let's start making films. And that's when we made our first film, 2012, and it did a bit of a mark. There was a new wave of urban films. Then 2014, we made a film called Bayar, which again earned a lot of money and gave us a lot of motivation. And then in 2016, I made a film called Wrong Side Raju, which gave Gujarat a national award after 23 years. So everyone has its own journey. Probably, I wouldn't lie. Of course, the love for language was there, but then there was also opportunity cost there. Opportunity I would see there, and then I'm now making Hindi films. But as I said that, we saw a huge opportunity there of being able to at least try to revive Gujarati films and cinema. Gujaratis are all over the world. You know, you have 6.5 crores Gujaratis in Gujarat, and name the country and they are there. And we were surprised since they are ahead in every department from business. I mean, we know all they are. Why not films? So that has been journey now. But it's been very long now. Now as it's been now in fact it feels nostalgic talking about it. So because now I've come into mainstream Hindi cinema and totally got corrupted. So again, so that has been my journey.
So that's great. So I'm just going to ask a follow-up question on this that I heard you now. So do you think you will go back in giving back to your community and your roots? Because we have started with the roots. Because as you said, you know, you have become, I mean, you know, it's become corrupt. I mean, you have become corrupted coming into Hindi cinema. Will you go and do back something for your community, which is growing?
Well, a PR answer would be that if I find a correct script and if I, you know, all that, I mean, we also do that, you know. But I want to do that. It's just that logistically, if I'm been taken care of from both the ends, I would love to do that. In fact, I want to. But in fact, Swan and Tanuja, they all would agree that once you are here, it gets difficult to, you know, there are again parameters of survival and their parameters, and there's a lot on stakes now. So again, giving 1 or 2 years now to make a Gujarati film, I don't know how much viable it is, but I'm on it.
Well, that's great. At least, you know, it's aspiring. And this answer is yes. Even if it's very diplomatic, it's very aspiring for the young filmmakers who, you know, want to break into the industry. So my next question, talking about regional cinema, is to Dr. Salil Kulkarni. Salil, your first film, Wedding Ka Cinema, which I have seen, was a smashing hit. Okay, Marathi industry is known for doing stellar content, and in today's age, content is key. We as an audience, we thought that everything about wedding was covered and showcased, but your narrative and your angle and the perspective that you brought through this film was so different. How did you weave that story, which was so fresh and so beautifully done?
Thank you so much. First, I just loved the way Nikhil replied all your questions, because he was so genuine and he was so true.
Yes,
It
he
was really
was.
good
He
to
was.
listen to you, Nikhil. Basically, I thought of a story of a person. Basically, you know, here are all filmmakers and all creative people. When a creative person is kind of strangulated to do something below his choice, you know, either he gets frustrated or something else opens up for him. That was for the one-liner of the film. And then I thought of a girl who doesn't believe in love, who just feels, you know, I want to do something, like I want to be tomorrow's Satyajit Ray and I want to be tomorrow's Rishikesh Mukherjee, but no one is buying her script. No one is, she's not getting a producer. And then she comes across this opportunity of shooting a pre-wedding thing. And she's like totally frustrated that what I want to do and what am I doing? And you know, she meets these two families, and slowly she opens up as a person, and she gets to know that, you know, there are beautiful things in common people. You don't need to create something really extraordinary or big to create a good film or good story. Every common person has got a story. So that was the one liner I thought of. And then one thing I've decided now, I'm writing my third script also. I don't want a negative character in any of my stories, because I feel every one of us have got a gray shade, and you can play with that rather than, you know, having a totally negative person. You really don't need. So Wedding the Cinema was my first film, and I was really excited because after doing music for 50 films, I did my first film as a director. So that was very exciting, because I could look at my film as an audience also. Because I kept criticizing the films I did music for. क्या रे ऐसा कैसा गाना किया है यार मेरा, ये क्या किया यार मेरे गाने के साथ, ये कैसे character. So and now that I was doing the film, I was exactly in the opposite chair. So I was a bit क्या रे ये नहीं बोलना चाहिए. So that was so I think I tried it as a थोड़ा जैसे छोटा बच्चा करता है ना. I tried it as a very genuine attempt. That's why it clicked, because there was a lot of simplicity in it. No pose. Even in my music, I always try to do that. The more posy you become, you go away from the audience. जितना ज़्यादा craft करो, you go away. जितना ज़्यादा सहज हो, you come nearer to the audience.
Yeah, you
That was
said
my
so.
thought.
You said it so well. कि जैसा बच्चा करता है. So the innocence actually was showcased. So it was very beautifully done. So Swanand, you are an ace lyricist, filmmaker, and an award-winning actor. Out of all the roles that you portray, which is the one that is very close to your heart?
No, I am not a filmmaker. I made a mistake. I should have done engineering or doctorate. अपने माँ बाप का सुन के कम से कम पिक्चर तो बना लेता. मैंने दोनों में से कोई काम नहीं किया. मैं फिल्म पढ़ने चला गया और मैंने फिल्म नहीं बनाई अभी तक. तो थिएटर पढ़ने चला गया. But I'll take Nikhil's advice now very seriously. As a first filmmaker, I'll just make my film in any language, like what. Again, I lost the question.
No
Thank you
problem.
so much. But no, I'm not a filmmaker, unfortunately. And what do I like most is filmmaking.
Right.
So, like
पर-
Salil said,
पर मैंने आपको पूछा था कि आप लिरिसिस्ट है, स्क्रीन राइटर है और यू आर
correct.
अवार्ड
आप
विनिंग
मैं
एक्टर.
बिल्कुल आप मैं आपको ही बता रहा हूँ कि मैं सबसे ज्यादा जो पसंद करता हूँ वो मैंने अभी किया ही नहीं है.
आओ अच्छा अच्छा.
जो मुझे सबसे ज्यादा पसंद है करना, मुझे कहानी सुनाना पसंद है, मुझे कहानी के सारे सूत्र अपने हाथ में रखना पसंद है. वो मैंने अभी तक काम किया नहीं है. मैं उस जगह पे नहीं पहुंच पाया हूँ. वही आयरनी है फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में होने की. अनफॉर्चुनेटली इन ऑल दिस डिस्कशन, अनफॉर्चुनेटली व्हाट निखिल वाज आल्सो सेइंग, एवरीथिंग, सिनेमा इज अ बिजनेस व्हिच नीड्स मनी यार. तो
Yeah.
पैसे नहीं होंगे तो फिर बहुत सारी बातें इधर उधर की करने का कोई मतलब नहीं होता. और पैसे आपको तभी मिलते हैं जब आप पैसे कमा के देते हो सामने वाले को, या उसका प्रॉमिस होता है, या किसी तरह से उसको ऐसा लगता है कि यार कम से कम जो पैसा गया है वो वापस आएगा किसी तरह से. तो शायद मुझे देख के किसी को ऐसा अभी तक लगा नहीं है कि ये मेरा पैसा वापस लौटा पाएगा. और किसी और उनको लगता है कि मुखड़े अंतरे में ही इसको रखो. But definitely because I'm sitting with all the filmmakers, that's the first thing which came to my mind. I'm the only one who has not made a film yet. So I'll take the inspiration from here and do one online engineering course.
I wish you all the best. So आपने पैसे की बात कही तो मैं तनुजा को उसी कमर्शियल एंगल का एक क्वेश्चन पूछूंगी. So Tanuja, from the time of late 90s to today, have the requirements of trade changed for women-led or women-centric films, or still the stories have to be adjusted for the commercial viability of the film? जैसे स्वानंद ने भी बात छेड़ी थी.
So, first of all, I'd like to tell Swanand that he's in a very good position because he still has the first film left for him to do. First films are very precious. They're so close to your heart and the excitement is amazing and you have nothing to lose. So I think that that's a great position to be in, and I'm sure Swanand will make a film very soon, one of these days. Also, there can be a Gujarati serial. I want to tell Nikhil that, you can always go back to Gujarati and not have to go back to a position of something small, because you can make a Gujarati series for Netflix and it will not be small, So, but coming back to women's stories, yes, there's been quite a journey. When I started out over 20 years ago, you couldn't really make a female-led film without a male star in it, So I had to cast Sanjay Dutt, and then of course I had to cast Akshay Kumar, and their roles would be smaller than the female roles, which most stars don't like to do. These actors were adventurous, and so they wanted to do it. Now you can actually think of making a female-led film without a male star. but your budget, yes, will still be lower because its selling price will be lesser than what a male-led film will sell for. Uh, I'm okay with that. I understand the economics, and I will go ahead and make a film that I want to make, like Danish was saying, that is really close to my heart, that makes me excited, that makes me feel like, yes, I'm touching upon some socially relevant theme. Even if the money is less, somehow you can stretch the rupee, you can get really good crew, you can shoot fast, of course, and you can work really hard, you can do a lot of prep, and you can make something of quality even in less money. um, it's still a long way to go before we have a female-led film as a common thing. It's not common at all. It is not yet a trend. Out of 100 films, there will be only 10 which are female-led. So till half the movies are not female narratives, to me, it's not a playing field, equal playing field at all. So there's a long way to go. We are not even halfway through. But series are exciting. Films also have more possibilities, so I'm optimistic.
Well, optimism is all that keeps us alive, especially in this
Yes.
age that we are living. So I'm going to hand over it back to Sunaina for your next question.
Thank you so much. I actually wanted to just make a comment for Swanan that you said that you were in a panel of filmmakers, but this was our way to kind of push you in that direction कि आप बना ही दीजिए आपकी पहली फिल्म, हम टिकट खरीद के देखेंगे उसे.
आपने अब जब कह दिया है, इस पूरा इंडियन डायस्पोरा सुन रहा है यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स में, तो बस पीपल विल रीच आउट, आप बस कह ही दीजिए.
अरे वाह, ये तो बड़ी अच्छी बात है. आओ भाई, आ जाओ, बहुत अच्छी अच्छी कहानियां मेरे पास. नहीं, थैंक यू सो मच. एंड सलील ने भी फिल्म बनाया है, एंड आई एम नॉट सीन द फिल्म, सो आई एम अ बिग फैन ऑफ सलील्स म्यूजिक, सो आई एम सॉरी. वी कैन स्टार्ट द.
So probably I can stay with you, Swanan. So during COVID times when, sometimes we took refuge in Sahir's philosophy कि गम और खुशी में फर्क ना महसूस हो जहाँ, मैं दिल को उस मकाम तक लाता चला गया. Or sometimes when there was no philosophy to take care of us, we said, in your words, कि all is well, by, we had to kind of soothe ourselves. As an individual, what is your take from this pandemic? And probably follow-up question to that is, what can the industry learn from that?
Well, I don't know. This is a very big question. I'm not. We all are just learning to live by the day right now, and keeping ourselves away from the pandemic, keeping us ours away from the virus as much as we can. This is a big question. The only thing I have learned is that things stop suddenly. The world is not a place which moves the way it's like 6 months back, 7 months back, it was moving at its pace. Things were happening, so much work was happening, films were getting made, getting released, and suddenly everything just came to a standstill. It was a big shock. Also, we learned so many new things. We can connect. We actually understood the real use of internet in this pandemic. We also understood that okay, my God, the utility of space is going is not that necessary as we thought it is. Now we can do Zoom calls, became our basic. तो वो एक चीज समझ में आई. तीसरी चीज तो मुझे नहीं पता. इंडस्ट्री इज लर्निंग व्हाट इंडस्ट्री इज लर्निंग. इंडस्ट्री इज स्ट्रगलिंग राइट नाउ. सिनेमा, going to a theater and taking that cinematic experience is struggling because nobody knows what will happen. How will the film get released? How will people go? Whether they will go? And at the same time, the new way of watching films is in digital platforms or OTT platforms, or pay-per-view also has started in India. Recently one of our films got released, and I don't know how it did, but so these things are also coming in. So nobody knows. Nobody knows. We are still learning, and the major learning for me was that just have fun. You only have this moment in your hand. It's like make as much of it as you can. That's all. That's all you can do. Sorry, I'm just.
Oh,
That was a difficult question. I didn't have an answer, actually, proper answer.
No, thank you so much. But I want to thank you for you and Amitabh is there and other Varun and also you all did that uh, thing for lyricists when you said credit de do yaar.
Credit de do yaar. Yes.
So I
That
think
we did. Yeah, that we did. We also learned one thing.
yeah.
We also learned yeah, that's what we did. Credit de do yaar was one thing which was bothering, which has bothered lyricists through times. Like it started from in All India Radio. Earlier, even in our All India Radio, when they started playing songs, they used to take actors' names. Then these people put up a fight that कि अरे नहीं एक्टर का नाम मत लो, जिन्होंने गाया है उनका नाम लो, जिन्होंने म्यूजिक, तो उन्होंने म्यूजिक कंपोजर का और एक्टर गाने वालों का नाम भी लेना शुरू किया, लिरिक राइटर का देना छोड़ दिया. तो साहिर साहब ने बहुत बड़ी लड़ाई लड़ी थी उसकी. उसके बाद में फिर हम लोग जब आए तब हम एफएम रेडियोज पे आए तो एफएम रेडियोज ने फिर देना बंद कर दिया. फिर जावेद साहब ने एक बड़ी लड़ाई लड़ी. फिर हम डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म्स के ऊपर आए तो फिर यूट्यूब ने और ये डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म्स ने क्रेडिट ही नहीं देते. क्रेडिट नहीं देने का क्या इशू है? और हमने एक और चीज सोची कि अगर आप थोड़ा सा, जो सलील कह रहा था कि नेगेटिविटी वाली जो बात थी, कि अगर आप इस नेगेटिव एटमोस्फियर में थोड़ा प्यार से कोई बात करो तो ज्यादा सुनी जाती है. तो क्रेडिट दे दो यार became a rage and it made a lot of difference. Let me tell you, every digital channel, every digital OTT platform approached us either officially or unofficially and assured us that they are doing something, working towards it, and they are doing many things. So मुझे लगा कि हाँ, हर बार सिर्फ नेगेटिविटी और चीख चिल्लाने से ही चीजें नहीं बनती है. थोड़ा प्यार से गाना वाना बना दो तो भी लोग सुन लेते हैं.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Danish, the same question to you as well, that as an individual, what is your take on this pandemic and what do you think the industry can learn from this?
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's any learning from it because, as you know, it's been really tough times since March. I mean, you were part of it. We were in the middle of a feature film and everything got stuck and nothing happened. So it's been really tough times. I think films which were supposed to go theatrical are going digital and everything is stopped. I mean, no one knows how long this is going to last. We've been trying to do as much work as we can. I mean, even though if it's just like videos or writing a new script, I think it was just all matter of just being busy and doing something because, I had to leave LA and came back to Kashmir because I just wanted to be home. And it was very difficult to even get here, as you know. It was quite a process to get here. But I think these are very difficult times. And I don't know, I'm just praying that theaters reopen and things are back to normal. And this virus goes away. It's just we just have to be grateful that we didn't get this. I mean, we're still protected and making sure that no one else is affected by that. But I'm still very grateful that I was able to do a lot of work in Kashmir. As you know, the cases are very low, and I did a lot of videos, around 5 videos ever since I came here. I'm working on a script, so I'm staying busy as much as I can. But I think nothing big can happen until this virus doesn't go away. So we just have to pray for everyone that things go back to normal. It's just very tough times. Yeah.
Thank you. Mikhil, same question to you, that what is your individual take on this and anything that you think is also relevant to the industry as a whole? You have to unmute yourself.
Yeah. So, in fact, pandemic happened like a blessing for me, blessing in disguise, because unfortunately, my last film didn't do that well as it was expected. So I anyways was in my mind planning to take a vacation, maybe slow down, maybe go for introspection. So I always felt that when I was making films, in fact, when I used to meet this lyricist, I used to feel little angutha chap in terms of literature, I mean, people used to talk about Greek literature, Indian literature. And I personally felt maybe I need to educate myself. Maybe I need to know more things about it. All those things which I wanted to do, because the rat race was stopped. Nobody was going ahead from anyone. And that's how it is. I could go back to the books. I could go back to the classics. So the most amazing thing I could actually realize is that after watching classics is that there's something which is very right about those films, be it the structuring or be it the way of the story was been told. Even it's a 1950 film or a 70 film, something was very right about it, and it touches you in right now. In fact, we did a lot of screenwriting sessions, understanding and talking about cinema, and again going back to the basics, because I think we were not doing that. We were just trying to make more films. We were just trying to go ahead from each other. We were just trying to make more money. It was all about proving I'm a better maker, I can make better films. I think so it all slowed down, and it gave a chance that okay, this 6-7 months, a free vacation to everyone. Go and introspect yourself, go and self-study yourself, go and learn your mistakes, because personally I wanted to do that. I didn't want to repeat my same mistakes again in my future films. That would be a crime, I feel. So for me personally, as a creative person, yes, it's in disguise. Occupation and money part was a problematic for many, but I believe we somehow could manage that. And we also realized the fact that things can happen and we can be happy in minimal amount also. So yeah, I believe good times.
Wonderful. There's a saying in Kashmiri, which I can probably loosely translate, that "Kam khao par gam mat khao." So, probably that is something which came to my mind right now. Same question to Tanuja, that, as an individual, what was your take on this pandemic, and how was there something that you want to share for the industry?
Yeah, my mother, for at least the first 2-3 months, every day would exclaim कि मतलब दुनिया की ऐसी की तैसी कर दी है कोरोना वायरस ने. It's been something that's overwhelming, inexplicable, crazy, deeply sorrowful, so much suffering all over the world. We in this discussion are the small percentage of extremely lucky people, and I too had decent amount of work over these last, ever since the lockdown started. My next project was, I was able to do a really massive revision of the script, which we never get time to do, or we're never given time to do. So that was amazing, so that was lovely. But I think that there's a huge damage that's been done in the world of cinema. I mean, I really don't see cinema halls recovering anytime soon. I mean, they've taken a massive loss and massive beating. So, and people are scared to go. Who knows when we'll return to cinema halls. So right now, which is why I suppose digital content is in a happier place, but we haven't really resumed shooting in full. And I know that I will be getting back onto the set sometime, and I'm dying to get back on the set now. But we'll have to maintain distance. How does one direct? I'm confounded by that. How does one direct with keeping a distance? How do I direct without touching, a person, the actor or my assistants or whoever, and we all have to be careful. One person gets inflicted, the entire thing shuts down, so there's still a lot of fear, uncertainty. Now, uncertainty is not necessarily a bad thing to struggle with and to navigate and to address. It gives you some direction in life. It makes you maybe understand what's truly important. But whether it'll truly change us, I don't know. I really don't know, because human beings, I mean, what changes human beings? I don't know. I see pollution coming right back. I see, wildlife and your forest not being treated well right again. So I don't trust the human race to really change.
Thank you so much, Tanuja. You made me think. I was kind of stuck with a thought. I can see everyone else kind of absorbing what you said and probably relating to it as well. Sunil, same question to you as well, that what is your take and anything you want to share with from the perspective of the industry as a whole?
Okay. I was really engrossed listening to Tanuja. She was speaking. Every sentence was so beautifully put and so true it was. I think it was uncertainty, she spoke very well about it, that it's not necessarily bad, or uncertainty sometimes gives you possibilities. As a doctor also, I always I'm more scared of situations like this, because you think of all the negative possibilities, even if I'm like smelling something, I every day I feel that I'm not getting this smell, and I think I'm COVID positive. So this is kind of one thing. But any adverse condition for me, at least it gives me a time to rearrange the cupboard in my mind, to prioritize things, to clean up the things which you really don't need right now, because in routine you just keep doing things, and जैसे गेस्ट आ रहा है तो वो चलो चलो ठीक से कर दो, अपना कमरा ठीक कर दो, तो you just सब भर के दरवाजा बंद कर देते हो. That's the way you behave with your mind. But these are the situations when you sort it out slowly. Okay, I don't want this. I was unnecessarily thinking on this. So you sort it out, and I'm much more settled. I'm much more cleaner after this break, psychologically. And these opportunities, I look at it in a very positive way, that Swanan and me, we had been together for so many days in London and Switzerland, and we were sitting on a wooden bench on a road, and we had composed a song together. Because we were thinking, क्या करे, कुछ लिखा था, he said, अरे खुशी तो तितली है यार, तो खुशी तो तितली है यार, इसे जो थामने चला, नकील डालने चला, गिरा मैं बार बार, हजार बार, खुशी तो तितली है यार. That was a song we did together 10 years back, and I still remember it. So this period gave me time to sort it out. क्या किया था 10-20 सालों में. So I think this is in Marathi जिसको कहते हैं ना कि स्थिरावते पुनः चळलेले चित्त, जो ऐसा होता है ना, पूरा सेटल हो गया मेरा फिर से, क्या किस रोड पे चलना है, क्या करना है, क्या गाना है, क्या नहीं गाना है, क्या कंपोज नहीं करना है. So it gave me a time to rearrange myself, restart my laptop. So I think, but still I wanted to finish as fast as possible, of course.
रफ्तार की आदत. Thank you so much, Salil. And now I hand it over back to Priya for her set of questions that she wants to ask you.
Yeah, so my question is also going to be a common question to all of you, and I'm looking at the clock. It's 12:51, and we have 9 minutes to conclude. So I'm going to go back to the title of this panel. What is the future of Indian cinema? Because see, for our diaspora, what we consume is what the media shows us. And if we take an example of Bollywood, it's currently very divided. So our viewers would like to know, what is the future of Indian cinema? So I would like to start with Danish first, and just go in the order that I presented. Danish, you're muted.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. So I think right now with the whole, how all the films are using digital platforms, and but hardly PNA pretty much gone because of theaters being shut and stuff. So I think for a lot of there's also opportunity for a lot of good content to come out now, because people have to go and restrain to digital stuff, and it's very competitive. There's so much for audience to watch, and select from. So I feel like it's a good time as far as content is coming. I think people have time to now think through and plan things properly, and finally they can write and get time to sort of do something unique and important. So in that perspective, I think it's really good. As far as this pandemic and the future, as far as theaters, it's really a huge question mark right now, and we really don't know what's going to happen and how long this is going to last. I do know that a lot of people are affected by this, and a lot of films are on hold because they were made for theatrical, release, and digital prospects is not going to help the finances to recoup the investment. So I'm just, I really don't know what's going to happen in the future. I'm just praying for the best. I mean, I don't know if I answered your question, but I really don't know as far as what's going to happen in the future at the moment. Because when it started in March, I thought things would be okay by July, August. We didn't know this is going to be this unending sort of circle. So yeah.
Well, you did address the business side of it, which was really great. But what the viewers would like to know is, in general, what is the future of cinema, especially with what's happening? And I mean, Mikhil, you can continue with it because of the sensitivity of time. Is that what would you like to tell the viewers? Because what we see is very divided, but I don't think that's what the industry stands for. So what is the future of it? Because we as the consumers of this medium want to support and be part of it. So what we hear is very different. So we just your perspective, okay? We don't want to go into the details of it, but just your perspective in like maybe 150 characters.
So, minus the pandemic part, which we all don't know when the theaters are going to open, what in general feel about Indian cinema, because we only see Hindi films as Indian cinema per se. Regional cinema is something which I'm really excited about and looking forward to, which is already happening. Any story or language being said in colloquial language. I mean, we saw a Korean film last year. It won 4 Oscar awards. So that's the power we have. So stories which are going to be told in local languages are also going to be interested because of the digital penetration, because any language, any country, anyone can see any content as far as the story is good and it's effective. That is one. And number two, what I think so pandemic has done is that the OTT surge was anyways going to increase, but what pandemic has done is that it's shortened the period now. What probably would have happened 3 to 5 years forward has now already done as far as the users on OTT platform are concerned. But I also feel that we also got to be a little responsible. This is the same transition how we were moving from film cameras to digital cameras. I see that because of the opportunities on OTT platform, we got to make sure that the stories are worth being said, not make it a very noisy and messy place, because there's so much of content being loaded every day. And we make sure we respect the medium, we make sure we respect the team, the process, and the story we're trying to say, though the access is easy. So that's what I wish. Yeah.
Salil, your answer to this? You're muted.
I think iske baad, the things I've been seeing it for the last few months, people are going for good content on OTT platform. They are not, they're not at all thinking about कि कौन बोल रहा है, क्या बोल रहा है, हमें ज़्यादा interest है अभी लोगों को. That's what I have been seeing people doing. So मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि अगर यही थिएटर पे होगा तो there is this pandemic can change the perspective of a film. कि कौन है फिल्म में, इससे भी क्या फिल्म है, ये हो सकता है, मुझे ऐसा लगता है. But in general, तनुजा जी ने precisely she said कि human beings are so strong कि वो बदलेंगे नहीं. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 महीने बाद जब फिर शुरू होगा, फिर से भीड़ होगी, फिर से लोग पॉपकॉर्न खाएंगे, फिर से सब वही होगा. I don't think cinema and theaters will die. It will grow. जैसे अभी क्रिकेट के लिए लोग तरस रहे हैं कि कब ग्राउंड में जाके देखें, similarly people will die to see cinema, and I think stories will rule more than the stars in the future. ऐसा लग रहा है.
That's a very good answer. Swanand, your take on this?
Totally agree with this thing. The future of cinema is very bright. Only the present is a little bleak. बाकी मुझे नहीं लगता कि कोई उस तरह का प्रॉब्लम होगा. डेफिनेटली चीजें चेंज होने के लिए ही बनी हैं. Things are meant to change. Nothing stays. We had seen 50-60 years of we had seen out of the 100 years of cinema, since the color cinema came till digital came, हमने एक golden era देखा celluloid का, जिसमें हमने हाई लेवल पे, एक तो लिमिटेड कंटेंट होता था, दूसरा कोई और चीज होता नहीं था, तो हमने एक हाई बहुत बड़ा पीक उसका देखा था, हमने देखा था कि कैसे होता है। लेकिन देन वी वर थ्रेटन्ड बाय टेलीविजन एट वन पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम कि टीवी आ गया है, अब क्या होगा, अब कैसे होगा, अब तो सिनेमा का बहुत हाल खराब होगा। पीपल वर कंप्लेनिंग अबाउट टीवी, यू नो, आई रिमेंबर दोस डेज, यू नो, दे वर टॉकिंग दैट टीवी विल किल सिनेमा। टीवी डिडंट किल सिनेमा, वी कोएग्जिस्टेड, टीवी भी रह गया, सिनेमा भी रह गया। वैसे ही डिजिटल के बारे में भी लोग अब घबरा रहे हैं, थोड़ा पेंडेमिक की वजह से ज्यादा घबरा रहे हैं, वैसे नहीं घबरा रहे। मुझे सिर्फ एक ही छोटा सा, आई डोंट वांट टू टेक टू मच टाइम, बट मुझे छोटा सा एक डाउट लगता है कि जो हाई पर्क है ना सिनेमा में, जो हाई मनी है, वो इंडियन स्टार सिस्टम की वजह से। मुझे बड़ा डर लगता है कि ये नया स्टार सिस्टम, ये स्टार सिस्टम नहीं ब्रेक होना चाहिए, बिकॉज इट गिव्स यू एन अपॉर्चुनिटी टू, मैं बहुत उल्टा बात कर रहा हूँ। बहुत लोग कहते हैं स्टार सिस्टम अच्छा नहीं होता स्टार सिस्टम, लेकिन स्टार सिस्टम सिनेमा में पैसा लाता है। हम जो बहुत सारे पैसे से सिनेमा बनाने की कोशिश करते हैं, वो स्टार्स ही लाते हैं, वो स्टार, क्योंकि सिनेमा इतना पॉपुलर मीडियम है, इसीलिए लाते हैं। अगर स्टार सिस्टम खत्म हो जाएगा, सिनेमा भी एक थिएटर एक्ट जैसा हो जाएगा, जिसमें ज्यादा पैसे नहीं होंगे, आपको करना है करो, देखना है देखो, नहीं देखो। तो वो मुझे थोड़ा सा कभी कभी लगता है कि ये जल्दी शुरू होना चाहिए। द थिएट्रिकल स्टारडम हैज टू कम बैक which cinema had. If the theatrical stardom comes back, then everything, because digital also works accordingly. So that's one point I wanted to make. That's all.
No, that's a very key point, because we all were nodding our heads. So we all agreed to it. So Tanuja, your take on this?
Yes, especially during bleak times, storytelling has always risen, because during bleak times is when we need stories the most, actually. So I think that storytelling will never, ever lose popularity, people will always long to be told stories. But I do think I would like to hope that what Salil was saying, that if there can be a complete reboot of Bollywood, I would be really happy, because I say that the star system should be dismantled completely, because this is what's happening with it. Has created a new system of actors who 10 years ago had no work. Today they have no dates to give us because they're so busy with the OTT shows. And I think that's fantastic. Similarly, give me 100 stars to choose from for movies. That would be amazing, and because I do believe that, like Swanand was saying, that nothing will kill cinema. Even when your multiplexes came in, a lot of very, very big producers and distributors said, oh, cinema's dead, because it's single screens which makes everything work. Cinema did not die. So I think, but Bollywood needs a reboot. We need to not be so traditional. We need to think new stories. And there is no shortage of stories in this country. This country is from corner to corner filled with stories. So that would be lovely.
This is so great. So we heard from the members of the film fraternity. Due to COVID, there is a lot of fear. But where there is fear, there is hope, there is opportunities, and there is room to innovate. And all these panel members stressed on the fact of hope and opportunities. So I'm just going to end today's panel first by thanking all our panel members and my co-moderator Sunaina, and quoting a line from a very favorite poem of mine: there is always a tomorrow. No matter what our yesterday was, our tomorrow will be different. Till we have life, the fires of hope won't die. The wonderment of unknown realm and the splendor of vast future lies in eternal tomorrow, the day for which life is worth living. So thank you all for joining us. It was a great honor and pleasure to be in your company. And with some of the points that you brought up, I think we should have another panel on that. So thank you once again, and I hope our paths cross again. Thank you for joining us for the virtual session of India International Film Festival of Boston 2020. Thank you.
Thank you.